on human relations and the way we connect. I often said that human relations is the way we connect, and human relationship is the actual connection. Dealing with life on life terms. Human relations are the foundation of how we connect, because without connection there is no growth. How we connect, communicate, and coexist. They are not simply about social interaction, but about the spiritual and psychological exchange that defines the quality of our relationships. The way a person relates to others, whether in friendship, family, or marriage, is deeply influenced by their mentality. Often said you can tell the mentality of one's collective psychology by what they produce. This deep influence of a mentality, which is shaped by their environment, upbringing, and economic class consciousness. Every social class carries with it a collective psychology. The poor often, and I just use the word poor, people are being exploited, often function with a scarcity mentality, focusing on survival and immediate needs, food, housing, and medical care. This focus can create a pattern of short-term decision-making, where the future seems uncertain. The lower middle class strives for stability, living cautiously and prioritizing savings, security, and the avoidance of debt. Maybe there's two types of people, if I may use that, debitors and creditors. The middle class attempts to balance survival and an opportunity, working for comfort, yet still sensitive to financial vulnerability. The upper middle class emphasize professional success and social stability. We deal with social stability in one that strives for stability. And then we deal with the scarcity of a mentality that is in quest for stability. Now, while the rich live by an abundance mentality, we see these different mentalities, focusing on growth, investment, and preservation of wealth through strategy and long-term planning. Thus, human relationships, romantic or otherwise, are often reflection of these psychological and economic paradigms. People connect through shared values, fears, and aspirations, but disconnect with their mentalities. Disconnect when their mentalities differ. For instance, a person with a scarcity mindset may interpret risk as danger, while one with an abundance mindset sees it as an opportunity. Now we're dealing with problem-solving skills. Pessimistic versus optimistic, if I may use that language. The scarcity mindset interprets risk as danger, while one with an abundance mindset sees it as opportunity. This differences in outlook creates friction in relationships, especially when expectations of security and growth clash. The expectations of security. The clash. Especially when expectations of security and growth clashes. That's the friction. When it comes to marriage and companionship in America, these class-based mentalities combined with cultural conditioning make forming and maintaining relationships increasingly complex. As individuals age, their personal experiences, disappointments, and traumas begin to solidify into behavior patterns. Many become guarded, skeptical, or overly selective, not necessarily because love is absent, but because emotional resources have been depleted. And when they have been depleted and not replenished, that's very void and empty. Many become guarded, skeptical, and overly selective, not necessarily because love is absent, but because emotional resources have been depleted. Cultural shifts have also changed the meaning of marriage, where it was once seen as a covenant of purpose. It is now often treated as a contract of convenience. Family traditions, societal expectations, and economic pressures further complicate this landscape. The more independent people become financially, the less dependent they feel emotionally. This independence, while empowering, can also isolate. It has made vulnerability appear as weakness rather than strength. Once again, this independence, while empowering, can also isolate. It has made vulnerability appear as weakness rather than strength. Therefore, the difficulty finding a mate later in life is not simply due to age, it is a reflection of social and psychological detachment that has been cultivated over time. Human connection thrives on shared value, not shared status. Once again, human connection thrives on shared values, not shared status. Yet, in a society where economic class define one's perceived worth, relationships often mirror financial identity rather than emotional authenticity. The healing of human relations, therefore, begins not in wealth or poverty, but in rediscovering one's collective humanity. Understanding that love, trust, and cooperation are the true currencies of abundance. References Maslow. Human Theory of Motivation from The Art of Loving, Adler. Understanding Human Nature, Erickson. Childhood Society. And the teachings of Common Humanity Mission when it comes to social reconstruction and maturity. I really believe and adhere to having mature social discourse, that we become practitioners of social maturity. The complex of human nature, maybe we can make things more complex than what they really are when it comes to human relations and the way we connect. And knowing that every social class carries with it a collective psychology. Until next time, where I am, where are you? I am here, you are there. We are everywhere.